So George called me up again, has said, hey, come over, have some dinner with me and Amala. And, I was a bit busy, went to Switzerland, I'm in Milan, I didn't want to make the trip over here, but I said, all right, fine, why not? So I came over to Lake Como, which is, in my opinion, one of the more beautiful places in all of Italy. And I came here back in 2022 and was just 2021 actually, I was so blown away that I've been dreaming of coming back ever since. So join me. I'm Ariel, this is Urbanist. Today we're going to explore the area of Varenna, and then maybe I'll hop around to other places in Lake Como, especially Bellagio, maybe for a later live stream. Let me know where you're watching from and let's explore Lago di Como. Welcome, welcome everyone. Nice to see you here. We are in beautiful Varenna and super excited to show all of you around. I mean, just look at the stunning views over here. I am just in awe. Wow. So Lake Como is in north of Italy. It's about an hour north of Milan by train. Sometimes we'll see the train zipping through here, and there's a stop here in Varenna Ezio. In order to get to other parts, you can access Como, which is like the main city at the base of Lake Como, and then Bellagio is only really accessible via ferry. So let's walk around, enjoy the views. I just love the majesty of Lake Como. Lake Como has been a vacation getaway, not just for George Clooney and Amala, my BFFs, but for millennia. Since ancient Roman times, Caligula himself built a massive, gigantic luxury vessel, basically a proto-yacht back in ancient Roman times. This was an ancient Roman getaway, the summer place. An interesting thing about Lake Como is it has fairly temperate weather year-round, even though we're very close to the Alps. The Alps are only about an hour more drive upwards, and we already reached Switzerland, which I went to yesterday. So that's how close we are to the very, very cold Alps. So right down there, we're seeing the other places of Lake Como, and if I'm correct, we're looking at right now at Bellagio, which is the other very famous spot to stop by. A lot of people stay either in Varenna or, if they have the money, in Bellagio. Michele says it's beautiful there. Yeah, it is. You might recognize this from different films. Not the particular spot we're in, but the lake itself from Casino Royale, Star Wars, Attack of the Clones, and many others. PowerPoint also says Ocean's 12 as well. Yes, Ocean's filmed here. Very convenient for George Clooney. That was a short commute for him. This botanical garden here at the villa. Let me.
Okay, so this.
All right. It seems like the service is very spotty here, which is such a shame. Such a beautiful spot. We have reached red tape. Giorgio says, what provider are you on? Right now I'm in Wintray, but I also have access to Vodafone.
بتطلع بالتليفون بتقول لي عملنا هيك شيء كان عم بنقل
وسمعها
Okay, let me know if you see me and hear me. Unfortunately, very, very spotty service here in this part of Varenna. I think I should be back live. I hope people got to see a little bit of the gardens. Had to go fast because there was no cell phone service there. But here we are. We're in the center of Varenna right now. Kay says, I see you and hear you. Yeah. It's such a shame there was no cell phone reception, steady cell phone reception in the villa. A few people commented, oh, why didn't you use this service? Why didn't you use that service? Sometimes it's really beyond one's control. In a country like Italy, there's 4 main cell phone providers. And it's always a roll of the dice where the cell phone reception will be at for that specific provider. But yes, so I hope you enjoyed the quick walk through the villa. But now let's explore the main area of Varenna. The beautiful thing about Lake Como is that combination of lake, mountains, and cities. That's the third one. Because in New York City, well, in New York State, we have a few big lakes. And of course, if you go to the bigger lake regions, the Great Lakes of America, you have lakes. You have lakes in New York. But you might have a mountain near the lake, but you don't have a city. And that's why I think Lake Como is so interesting, along with a few of the other main lakes in Europe, is that there's life, city life, urban life, right by the lakeside. All right, let's go here. Such a beautiful church. Romanesque because of the rounded arches and the very heavy stone. Doesn't provide a lot of light inside. So Romanesque churches are always kind of more moodier, more contemplative inside, I think. And this is Parroquia San Giorgio in Varenna. And it says the origin of these church dates back to 1685. Around 1604, they started building, it seems. And it was heavily restored in the 1960s. Ooh, nice and cold, the water. Oh my god. Wow. All right, let's do the water test. Tastes like grass. Tastes like very earthy. Hey, please clap says, is this northern Italy? Yes, we are in the very, very, very north of Italy, Lake Como, Lago di Como, which is about an hour or so away from Milan by train. Train is very easy to take from Milan. They pass by hourly to come into the Varenna and to leave. And I highly recommend getting here as a day trip. Lake Como can be rather expensive, I would assume, especially in these two main cities. So it might be cheaper just to stay in Milan and do this as a day trip. That's what I would recommend. And this is very viable in many other Italian cities. So if you want to save money, say, in Venice, then you should stay in a city like Verona or Padua, which is nearby. Very quick train ride directly to Venice, and you'll save yourself hundreds of dollars in lodging. Please Club says, I heard Italy is the best place on earth. Italy definitely has a lot going for it. It is majestic. It is beautiful. It has great food. The people are generally nice. It has charm. It has style. It is overall a gorgeous, gorgeous place. Wendy says, have I eaten? Yes, I have eaten. So one thing to keep in mind when you're traveling to Italy is that if you want to have a good lunch, usually lunches end around 2 to 2:30, sometimes 3. But generally 2 p.m. is when lunch ends. So I got to a restaurant at the nick of time to have some veal parpadelle with veal ragout. So it's, venison. So basically deer bolognese, basically what I had. And it was delicious. Highly, highly recommend it. And I'll show you the name of the restaurant. It's right here in Varenna, very close to where we're walking. It's called Osteria Quattro Pas, with a beautiful glass of white wine. Now, for all the Italians out there, or French, probably gasping at the thought of eating a heavier meat like venison with white wine. Red wine does not agree with me. I don't like red wine too much. I've always been a fan of white, so that's why I'm drinking my white. Do you have books available in Barnes & Nobles? Please clap. No, I haven't published anything in a bookstore. I only have one book on Amazon, and it's a short science fiction novel. Any dessert, says Wendy? No, I had some espresso, and luckily they gave me some cookies, which I'll pop up the photo right now. So I had a little bit of espresso and a cookie, which was very nice. Aren't the train rides beautiful, says Deborah? They are. The train rides are beautiful in Italy. Italy is one of those countries where there is beautiful train rides almost all throughout the country. BC says, apparently a lot of the rich older villa is known. If anyone knows the name, do let us know in the comments. And apparently what I've heard is a lot of real estaters use Clooney as a way to up the prices of these extravagant villas in Lake Como. MZ says, can you understand Italian since you speak Spanish? It's easier to read Italian as a Spanish speaker. Harder to understand spoken Italian because they speak fast, the accent is different, the pronunciation is different, so it's a bit trickier for me to kind of grasp it fast, casual speak. If someone were to slow down and speak it to me, then I would get it. Uh-oh. Gimbal's freaking out on me. Hey, Maureen. Maureen with the $20 super chat. Thank you so much, Maureen. I really appreciate that. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So if you're in Italy, do eat before 2 p.m. for lunch. Don't wait. Otherwise, you'll have to go to the bistros or the cafes, which in these popular cities are a bit more tourist trap. So you'll be paying way more for lower quality food. So I would recommend going to a actual trattoria for lunch. Please, Cap says, is there beef and pork available in this region? Yes, both are very, very common. Beef and pork are the most common. You won't see chicken too much. Chicken is much more rare in Italy in general, across the entire country. Chicken is more kind of like a holiday meal, if I'm correct. But yeah, you won't find it in too many restaurants. It is pretty rare. Which is interesting. I wonder why that is the case. Please Clap says, you go to mass in Italy? I really don't go to mass at all. I am indeed Catholic, but I just don't really go to mass. How's the weather, says BC? It's cold. I did not think it would be this cold in September. I'm wearing 2 layers, undershirt, tank top underneath, and a pretty thick Oxford button down. And they're warm enough, but tomorrow's going to be even more colder, so I'm definitely going to need a jacket, which I brought myself a jacket. So it's getting cold in Varenna. There's the ferry, it's passing by. Here's packed. Everyone's having their lunches here. See what says, were you at Lake Como last trip? Yes, I was. I was indeed at Lake Como last trip, 2021, and absolutely loved it. That's why I'm back again, because I just fell in love so much with Lake Como that I needed to return. Oh my. Marcus says, no burgers for lunch. No, Italy, you won't find as many burgers. You can find burgers as fast food. And of course, more touristy restaurants, you'll find a burger, but no, burgers are not so common in Italian cuisine. It's not like France. France, you'll find a burger almost every cafe, not bistros, but cafes for sure. Wow. We see some, no snow on here. To see a little bit of snow, we have to drive a little bit further up, like I did yesterday, all the way to Switzerland. Wendy says, did I helicopter over here? Yes, of course. I used my private helicopter to fly over here. Hey, Marcus says, that was a joke. You know, it's a valid question because in Italy, Italian cuisine is great. Of course, you should, if you're in Italy, do have Italian cuisine. I would say there's probably very few cities in Italy that you should even bother having another type of cuisine, that being Milan and maybe Rome. But otherwise, really do stick to the Italian cuisine. But you'll be surprised, burgers are really, really good in many other European countries. It's just, Italy, I wouldn't recommend it unless if you're doing fast food. Cat Yellow Ranger says you're literally in Naboo. Yep, this is how Naboo looks like indeed in Star Wars. Naboo was heavily inspired by Lake Como, and then they actually shot in Lake Como in one of the villas in this general area, I think it was. I think it might be around the bend, actually, of Bellagio. But nonetheless, in one of these villas, might be this one. I gotta double check. But it was shot here in Lake Como. Irene says, can you swim in the lake? Yeah, there are sections in the lake that people do swim. And I think it's common, especially in the summer months. I haven't seen them yet, so I don't know what section can you swim in. There might be tiny little beach areas here. Susie says, what does it smell like? Smells like money. It doesn't have a particular smell. I don't know how to describe it. It's a sweet smell. It's very nice. It's a freshwater lake, so it doesn't smell salty, that's for sure. The air does smell fresh, for sure, and it's because it's that mountain air that seeps through. Beautiful Varenna. Please Cup says, is the water potable? It is. It is. Wow. Christine says, are you going to any other towns? I am. Stay tuned. I'll be live streaming probably from Bellagio a little bit later this afternoon. Hey, 100% silk? That's a good deal. In New York, they would charge you 200 bucks, 300 bucks?
Se piove io sono fottuta. Perché? E I miei capelli.
Nice. Exactly the type of scarf I need. Please says, do you know anything about the Medici family? I do. I don't know if they have any ties with Lake Como. They're mostly associated with Florence and the surrounding areas. Not so much Como as far as I know. Monica, I'm pronouncing these place names in English, especially if they're frequently said in English, like Lake Como or Lago di Como. Varenna rather than Varenna. I'm pronouncing it in English. You'll encounter this quirk in Italian culture a lot. The Italians really, really want you to pronounce their place names and food names in Italian, even though when you're speaking another language like English or French or Spanish. They really want you to say, "Oh, I'm eating spaghetti," which is always a bit weird.
So,
So here, ooh, cool. We have a map of Lago di Como, Lake Como. So we are, let's see, we're here in Varenna. This is Bellagio, here at the tip of this kind of, it's a Y-shaped lake. And then we have Menagio as well, right over there. And Como is a bit further down. Where's Como? Here's Lecco, which is one of the main train stops. And Como's on the other side. Oh, Como is pretty far. So last time I decided to stop here in Varenna and then go all the way to Como, which was a very long journey. Nice ferry ride, but it's very, very long. So pro tip, you can come in to Varenna, but you can also leave from Como or you can leave from Lecco if you want to take a ferry ride and explore more of the surrounding areas. And right up here we have the Alps. Monica says it's an Italian name. There's no American pronunciation. There is. There is. It's the same case with Spanish place names, German place names. There's a lot of English equivalents.
ja, so ein Zeitgeist.
Please Stop says, man, Europe is so cool. Europe is cool, and I think that's the key I mentioned earlier before. It's that combination of urban environments in these gorgeous places. Because America is a gigantic country, it's beautiful, but America, we built a lot of our main cities on very flat lands, and especially in the coast near swamps. So it's not so picturesque like New York. The urban environment itself, but the nature is not deeply picturesque. In some elements, yes. But in the US, since it's a much more recent country, and there was not much urbanization colonization from the Europeans, we don't have cities in beautiful lakesides, in mountain towns, that many mountain towns at least. Not too many cities by rivers, maybe along the Hudson, but not many other, maybe the Mississippi, but still not yet common all around. And I think that's the beautiful, beautiful thing about Italy and Europe, is that since it's a much older society, they've developed these urban environments in places like these. Because if you think about it, post 1800s, there was no use to make a town by a lake, with the exception of Chicago and a few other major lake cities, but there's not that many when you think about it, especially smaller lakes. There's not that much point of building a beautiful city right by Lake Placid in New York. And that's the case with mountain towns as well. In Europe, you can go deeper into the mountains, like nearby Switzerland and parts in Italy, and encounter these medieval towns. The necessity for these medieval towns back then was that they wanted protection from invaders, from looters and pillagers. And post 1800s, that really wasn't a big concern. So you don't have as many mountain towns in upstate New York or in the mountains of New Jersey too much, at least. Of course, I'm generalizing. There are definitely mountain towns in the US, but not that many compared to Europe. With all your travels, do you feel citizen of the world? I feel like a citizen of the Western world because I haven't had experience in the East yet. And I know it'll be very different, and I would have to learn a whole lot more history and really like go deeper into Eastern culture, history, philosophy, and whatnot to really understand the East. So I would consider myself definitely a citizen of the Western world because I've traveled significantly throughout Europe and North America. So to me, once you learn the history, you start getting really the gist of all these places all around these two continents. Wow, it's packed today. Lots of people passing through. Christine says Colorado. Yeah, Colorado does have mountain towns. But I bet Colorado has nowhere near as many mountain towns as comparatively to Italy. And you can assume that they're close to the same size. Wendy says, am I wearing my Athena chain? No, my Athena chain, I got ripped off and they gave me a chain that stains. So I'm not wearing that chain, unfortunately. I need to clean it. I'm not sure what to do, but that grease chain I got ripped off. Hey, Please Clap says, welcome to the Brotherhood of Silver Foxes. Last time I saw you, you had still black hair. I think I bench reviewed this last time I came here. I forgot the rating I give, but I'm going to sit down and I assume it's going to be pretty high. So let me see if I get to the same bench review. Ooh, this is nice. Comfy. Nice breeze coming in, mountain breeze, fresh air. I feel like I'm being healed as we know it, meaning I can easily drink 5 or 6 more Negronis and I'll be okay with this mountain air. and oh wow, the views are just spectacular. Look at this. Great bench. I like a nice good stone bench. It's done well. Hopefully it's not staining my shirt. Let's see. Is it staining my shirt? I don't think it is. I think I'm okay. Let me know. Let me know. All right, I think I'm okay. It's not staining my shirt. Comfortable. I can see if the ferry's coming, so that means it's accessible via public transportation. This is a really, really good bench. I would give this a very, very good score. Let's see if it matches up with the one from 2021 of 9.5 out of 10. Wendy says a 10. No. 10. We can't be too liberal with our bench reviews. This is a very strict rating system. 10. There was only like two 10s and like two 9.9s. Can't go higher than that. A 10 will require some privacy. It will require a really comfortable bench. It will require a unique view. This view is nice, but we'll find these views all around like these three major cities of Lake Como. So we need a very exceptional bench for that high of a score. If people don't know, the 9.9 is in Capri, in the villa in Anacapri, which is the upper part of Capri in Italy, near Naples. And then the two 10s, one of them is a bench on the side of a mountain in the French Alps in Chamonix. And then the other one is in Central Park. Hey, Susie says, you remember a 2021 bench review. Good memory. Yeah, I do indeed have good memory. So please clap yes, I am indeed part of the Brotherhood of the Silver Foxes. I like that. That's a nice name. I know not too many people want to be part of the Bald Brothers. So it's nice to be instead in the Brotherhood of the Silver Foxes. I will gladly embrace that title. Camilla says, I thought you were bounded to Liguri. Ooh. What's in Liguri? Let me know. How far is Lake Como from Zurich? I think we could take a train to Zurich, and it's not really... I think Zurich is far, actually, because we have to go through the mountains. Yeah, Zurich will be pretty far, I think. Let me know, how far is Zurich? I think it's doable, but I'm not 100% sure. Sunshine says, you must have a great selection of photos. I do. Susie says, please make a bench review site. That takes a lot of time. So if anyone really, really loves their benches, I would love a volunteer. Christine with the $10 super chat. Thank you so much, Christine. I really deeply appreciate that. That gets me like 7 espressos. All right, perfect. I'll have all 7 at the same time. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. It also covers a nice pasta dish at a place that's a bit cheaper. Maybe not in this touristy area, but maybe in another town I would be able to get a nice pasta dish for €10. So thank you so much for sponsoring the next feature of food that we have. All right, let's continue walking around. Let's go. It's beautiful. Okay, good to know. Thank you. I think it's to Como, the city. I think we could get to Zurich. This is interesting. It would take about 5 hours and take at least two changes, says BC. Thank you, BC. I appreciate you letting us know how to get to Zurich. BC says the colorful villas make it look cultural. It does indeed. It does indeed. I think the closest thing you can get to this in the U.S. is Maine's mid-coast. Beautiful, beautiful area. You can get pretty close in Maine. All right, I think a ferry's coming. See if we can buy a ticket quickly. This is gonna take a while. All right. So this is like Como. Let me go a little bit further down, show you a little bit more. I'll stick around for 10 more minutes, show you just a little bit more Lake Como on this lakeside bit. Show you a little bit more of the mountains that surround it. If you have any questions, feel free to ask, and stay tuned. In an hour or two, I'll be live streaming from another place here in Lake Como. Potentially Bellagio. So stay tuned. I won't be going live. I can't go live on the ferry now because unfortunately the line is way too long, which kind of sucks. So this is another pro tip in Italy. Don't expect to get on ferries or trains quickly, or buses. The reason for that is Italy, there's not that many automated tellers, and if there are, the automated tellers are fairly slow, and there's not that many of them. And you can end up waiting in line either for an actual teller or automated teller. Automated ticketing machine, I mean. So this has happened to me in the Milan airport. It's happened to me in the Milan train station. It's happened to me while traveling in Italy overall. You won't be able to, like I do in New York, just hop on the ferry because I quickly buy into the automated machine. Or there's not that much of a line at the teller. So that's a little bit of the downside. Just be patient in that regard. So we walked all the way from over there, around this bend, to the side of Varenna. It is very easy to get here, as you can see. Ida says still a lot of tourists here. Yes. Sunshine says 7 espressos will help you climb up these hills. For sure it will. Greece is like Italy's cool older brother. Yeah, Greece is interesting. Greece is a magnificent country. It is true, Greece does not have as much pretty urban environments as Italy does. There's not that many Comos, Lake Comos in Greece, or Varennas in Greece, aside from nice historical architecture. But Greece just has that personality. Greece is like the older brother that's actually cool. Not like really cool. Doesn't act cool, but like is actually cool and chill. That's what Greece is. Greece is like the chill older brother. Not as pretty, not as handsome, not as put together, but it's chill. But Italy is a stylish younger brother that really knows what it's doing in many regards. Not as chill, but still gorgeous. Suso says there's also a direct train from Zurich to Como. No changes needed. It's a little bit less than 4 hours. Oh, that's good to know. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Ooh, is it gonna rain? No, don't tell me. I feel water droplets on my head. This is no bueno. I don't like this. So cold. I wish it were sunny today. I'm a bit bummed that it's pretty cold and gray here in Lake Como today. Not too optimistic for the weather later on today. Everyone, thank you so much for tuning in. This is Varenna. Highly, highly recommend coming here. Wendy says, "Do you wish you had a villa over here?" Yeah, I do. I would totally stay in the summer in Lake Como. So Italy has nice weather. Italy having nice weather is fake advertising? Italy is not like Greece. Greece has a lot of sunshine. Athens, nearly 300 days of sunshine. That is not the case in Lake Como or Milan. Milan is known for being cloudy. So not so much beauty in, I mean, you're not always going to have a sunny day in Italy. Go to Locarno. It's small but beautiful, says Swisser. Ooh, Locarno, okay. I was looking at the webcam by the lake. Ooh, interesting. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in. This is Varenna. Highly recommend it. I recommend this as your first stop. Don't go to Como because Como City, even though it might have its merits, it's much farther away. You'll be starting your journey pretty far away from the very pretty areas of Como, which is Lake Como, which is Varenna, Bellagio, and Menaggio. So start your journey in Varenna. That's the easiest way to get from Milan to over here. Trains pass hourly. You spend about €9, 7 to €9 for the train tickets. And it passes quickly, direct trains. They're very comfortable. So I highly recommend doing this as a day trip. You can easily go back. And if you really want to explore the entire lake, you can take a ferry boat all the way to Lecco or to Como and then get back to Milan as well from there. And it'll be around the same time. Thank you everyone so much for tuning in. Keep being awesome and always keep on exploring. Stay tuned a little bit later tonight. Ciao amici.